Shalom, shalom. Just wanted to speak about on the eve of Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving. I'm sure so many people have heard by now about the atrocities that are celebrated, on this day. We think of Thanksgiving as this wholesome holiday where the family gets together and has fun. And for most people, that's pretty much what it is, right? It's just like they're not really. They claim they don't really celebrate the spirit of Thanksgiving. They just do it as an excuse to be with family, which is so asinine to me because you could do that any day of the year then, if that's the case. So, but then we're encouraged to get together on this day and eat a bunch of food, and that's a whole another story about gluttonous sin. But you transmute that energy from Thanksgiving right to the very next day and all throughout the weekend into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, this sales period where you're getting the biggest discounts of the year, which the discounts really aren't all that great anymore. You might find a few here and there, but really it's a lot of stuff you can get throughout the year. These things go on sale all the time for the same price. But we're all encouraged to drum up and spend all our money on this day, and then so we can get prepared for the next big holiday, which is Christmas. For a lot of folks like to celebrate that, even though some who aren't even Christian, they still celebrate it because it's just like it's one of those things. It's like, oh, it's that time of year, everyone gets gifts and presents, and we eat good, and we laugh, and we have fun, and we make snowmen and all that, snow angels. Um, but really, what it's doing is just like it's like resetting your energy, so it's just kind of like um, pulling it all up in order to take that and transmute it into the next phase of whatever corporate, um, I guess, plan is next, right? Thinking about it like this, we go to work all year, making all this money, man. Some people think about this stuff for months, months in advance. Like, oh man, I gotta start working hard. I gotta put in overtime. I gotta work 12, 15 hours a day just so I can get this money, so I can buy all these Christmas gifts for all the people in my life, all my kids and my wife and my mom and my dad, my brothers and my sisters and my grandma and my cousins and my aunties and my uncles. I don't even know where it ends. It's like how is there like a list of priorities? I'm sure there's a list of priorities for who gets gifts or whatnot, but where does it end? It's like because then if this person you're close with, it's like you only have so much money, right? Unless you're rich. This person you're close with doesn't get a gift. That person you're close because it's just too many people to get gifts for. At some point, you're gonna have to disappoint somebody. So I think the whole spirit of gifting is just the way we do it anyway is crazy. But some people work a lot of hours and a lot of time just so they can save up to buy a bunch of stuff on this one specific day. Um, and we're so swayed by these holidays, and it's crazy to me. My birthday is on a so-called holiday. It's not even. It's on Halloween, and I hate that day just because I know what it represents to the Most High. It's probably one of the most wicked days ever in His eyes. And I just hate that I have to share. I don't even like believe in celebrating my birthday anymore. As a matter of fact, with all the leap years and the daylight saving time changes and all that, something a lot of us, most of us don't even know what our true birthday really is. These calendars are all screwed up. But yeah, I just hate the fact that the day that I was supposedly born on, is always going to be linked to that evil ass day. Um, Anyway, these holidays do nothing but drain you of your time, your energy, and your money. That money is going to the very same people who are keeping you in this loop, this endless loop of consumerism. Um, you know, and then we look forward to the new year. After Christmas, New Year comes, and it's a whole new year, new goals, new resolutions. And so we give our money to that. A bunch of us sign up for gym memberships and buy workout equipment that we barely use. I don't use it enough. Clearly, I could stand to lose a lot more weight. Some people do stick to it, but a lot of people who say all that stuff, they don't stick. They go right back. They fall right back into their usual because really, it's not a new year. First of all, we January 1st is not the new year. It's not a biblical new year. And so, one, the spirit of it is not even there. So you can't even It's how are you going to manifest new beginnings in a season in the dead of winter, right? Um, it's like it would make more sense, and I feel like it would make more sense for the new year to um, be sometime in the spring when new life begins to grow in terms of like the vegetation and all that. So, whatever. That's one thing. So you go into this new year and you have all these new goals, and these new goals are usually tied to, capitalistic desire. I'm gonna get a house. This is the year I get the house. This is the year I get that car. This is the year I make 6 figures, 7 figures. This is the year that I do this. And all of it surrounds money. All of it surrounds consumerism. All of it surrounds, self-serving indulgence. You know, um, and that's if the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. That's not everybody, of course, but for the most part, that's what happens. And so I just want to remind people with that, and specifically with Thanksgiving, especially because we're not just like we're celebrating. People like to forget what they, what surrounds the day, and then of course most of us think back to what they taught us in school, how they gave us the Mary version, but when you look into the actual history, you realize this is a story about genocide, and then the people that they claim were genocided are not even the people of the book, are not the people that actually were genocided. Look up like the Trail of Tears. Look up how they reclassified Indians into mulattoes and Negroes and eventually black people. So essentially, you're praying over your food and all that. You're celebrating, and you're giving a sacrifice for the very murder and destruction and mutilation and humiliation of your own people. And then the effects of that genocide are still impacting us today. As a matter of fact, the genocide is still going on. It's just been, we're doing it differently now. You got abortions, you got the food situation. You have the prison pipeline, which is another form of genocide because you're basically cutting off a nation from being able to replenish itself. And that's that. Like once you put all the pieces together, and you start to see how all of it plays into each other and how all of it is meant to keep us down and try to wipe us out. They couldn't do it. They can't do it. They will never be able to do it. They always say, who are the lost tribes? The lost tribes, they're not like extinct or anything, right? The lost tribes are lost because we forgot who we were. We're lost in the sense that we forgot and we were displaced. We were scattered. We were stripped of our name and our history. We were stripped of our power and our influence. We were stripped of our pride, our dignity, education, finances, land, all these things, families broken apart, torn apart from slavery, even from before then. From the very moment the colonizers landed on the American shores. Yeah. And all of it's still impacting us today, and we're still going through it today. Don't even get me started on the crack epidemic. It incarcerated and killed way more than you can imagine. I think from all the events from then leading up till now, probably a good billions of people have been, I guess rejected from coming to this earth. And not saying billions of people have been killed directly, but the fact that, if you extrapolate if you try to take an abstract approach to, I guess, yeah, like extrapolate the birth rates from those very beginnings to now, how many potential babies have been killed through abortions, or prevented from coming into this world altogether by separating families and men and women. That's why we have the gender wars. That's why we have the homosexual agenda, this transgenderism going on. is because they don't want us to reproduce. They want us to kill ourselves. That's why they have no problem promoting all the violent music and movies and TV shows. They have no problem, when we hear about another rapper getting shot and killed in the streets by our own. They have no problem reporting on that. They have no problem with, it's never a problem when we call it out. They try to make us sound like it's hate speech to even call this stuff out. I think one record producer was called out on this on the Breakfast Club. He was like, they asked him, if you know that this music and this stuff that you pay for and that you push and promote is destructive to a people, why do you continue to do it? And he flat out said, I got to feed my kids too. They don't care. They don't care. That's the answer they get. It's like, okay, yeah, people are going to buy this stuff now because this is what we have been conditioned to accept and to like and to learn. It wasn't like that once upon a time. A lot of our music had love and unity in it. It was poetry, emotion. And the times reflected that. People were more together. People looked out for each other in those days. As you can see, as the music's gotten worse, as the images has gotten worse, people have gotten worse. There's a direct correlation. And we just, for some reason, we refuse to acknowledge that. And we allow them to continue to keep us trapped in this cycle. I'm no longer feeding into it myself. So I just wanted to say that, yeah, put that message out there that, this Thanksgiving energy, all this holiday energy, man, it's for a reason. It's not just happenstance. It's not just, just an excuse to get together. I don't like the idea that we have to have a specific day to do this stuff. Every other day is about self-serving and getting to the bag and all that. And then we have that one day where we finally come together and act like a family. How about we get together all the time and share in that love and support each other each and every single damn day in business and in life and in love, prosperity, reproduction, and building. That'll be the day. That will be the day. I long to see it. It's so many people would rather be individualistic and alone than to come together and prosper together. Of course, many people have found out how to prosper alone, but just imagine what we could do if we were together. Y'all gotta start seeing the bigger picture of this stuff, man. It's amazing, just how much we've shot ourselves in the foot. We can't even blame anybody else at this point. It's on us. We can make the changes. We can do what we need to do to make that happen, but we just refuse to because we've been taught that it's all about me and nobody else, and I'm going to get to the bag and I'm going to shine brighter than everybody else. And congrats, man. Congrats. Wake me up when y'all wake up and see that we could have so much more together than apart.